Hey YouTube, it's Mr. Lubufu, and I'm here with, this is actually going to be a second take of my packs video. I was recording one, it got 98%, and then Wizards had to go and make everything I had better. So rather than just put an edit video and, shamelessly lose one, I'm just going to go over everything at once. I'm very tired, but I'm super excited for the set, so let's go over what we have. To begin with, Shocklands, reprinted, boom, awesome. You have the 5 that are in Return to Ravnica, which are, once we get past the basics, Temple Garden, Steam Vents, Hallowed Fountain, Overgrown Tomb, and Blood Crypt. All awesome. Here we have the art for the other 5 that are in Gatecrash. Next we have Packrat, so we're going to go ahead and go here since the art here is slightly better. Actually, I'm going to go over here and then I'll check first. Okay, so we have Eyes in the Sky. So it's a 4-mana instant. Put a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying onto the battlefield, then populate. Populate being the Celestia keyword. So you put a token that's a copy of a creature token you control. Next, we have the card that I am most excited about, Fencing Ace. I am going to be collecting these. For those of you that don't know, I have been a fencer for 8 years. And I love fencing, and this is a card I've wanted for a long time, even though it's just a 1/1 double strike for 2. I want this. Please, if you have any, especially foil ones, I want them. Trade them or send them as extras. I'm saying it now. Shameless plug. I want them. Next, we have JACE, Architect of Thought. So we have our one of the Return to Ravnica Planeswalker spoiled. So it's 4 mana, 2 colors, blue, starts with 4 loyalty. His +1 is until your next turn, whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks, gets -1/-0 till end of turn. -2, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put one to your hand and the other on the bottom of your library in any order. So what I'm going to say is it's called Fick or Fack, because it's a Fack or Fick, sorry, because Fact and Fick, it's not quite Fact or Fiction. And then -8, which you can't judge a Planeswalker by its ultimate, but it's for each player. Search that player's library for a non-land card and exile it. Then that player shuffles his or her library. You may cast those cards without paying their mana costs. I think he's a fair Planeswalker. I mean, he's no Jace the Mind Sculptor. I think he has, depending on how aggressive the format is, maybe his +1 is pretty good. He's not the best way to defend himself, though, which is something to keep in mind. Next, you have Grim Rustabout. So this one was spoiled earlier, but I didn't go over it because it was a lowly common, and making a video about one common is not worth it. It's colorless black, 1/1 Unleash, so it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. If it does, it can't block. And colorless black, Regenerate. Next we have Packrat. So Packrat's colorless black for a star, whose power and toughness are equal to the number of rats you control. And you can 2 colorless black, discard a card, put a token onto the battlefield. It's a copy of Packrat. I think it's a fun card. It plus Relentless Rats combo. I think it's a fun little card. I don't think it's going to be insane in any way. We have Gutter Snipe, so it's a 2 colorless red 2/2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. I think that this is, not going to be played too much. It's like a win more card for Storm, though, which is something to keep in mind. Oh, I'm really excited for Mizzium Mortars. So it's a 2-mana sorcery that deals 4 damage to target creature you don't control. Or you can overload it, which is 6 mana, and it'll deal 4 damage to each creature you don't control. Which is, it's an undercost, like it's a slightly overcosted Miracled Bonfire. But 4 damage on the entire side of the battlefield seems pretty good. I like it, especially since it works well with another card that we're going to show up. Street Spasm I've already covered in a past video. Next we have Axebane Guardians. It's a 3-mana 0/3 defender where you can add X mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool, where X is the number of creatures with defender you control. I'm not super impressed. I mean, it goes well with other defenders like Gate Creeper Vine. So it's a 2-mana 0/2. That when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card or a gate card, which we'll get to the gate cards later. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Next we have Archon of the Triumvirate. So it's a 7-mana 4/5 flyer that whenever it attacks, detain up to 2 target non-land permanents your opponents control. So detain is the Azorias keyword, which is basically like Faith's Fetters. So until your next turn, those permanents can't attack or block, and their activated abilities can't be activated. This guy's pretty much unplayable. He's 7 mana, doesn't do too much. Next you have Augur Spree, which I like. It's a colorless black-red. Target creature gets +4/-4 until end of turn. It does work. It depends if for 3 mana. Like it's no Doomblade. I like Murder better for a general removal spell, but we'll see. We'll see. Next we have Azorias Charm. So the charm cycle gets continued to be covered. So it's white-blue. Creatures you control get lifelink, or draw a card, or put target attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's library. By far the third ability is the strongest. The second one is basically cycling. And the first one, while if you're in a race, it can get you a little bit ahead. But definitely the tempo of the third ability is what makes it a card. Next we have Carnival Hellsteed, so it's a 6 mana 5/4 first strike haste that you can unleash it, so it puts a +1/+1 counter and cannot block. Depending on the number of chump blockers, I don't like this card too much. Corpsejack Menace, I do like. It's not mythic. Okay, so it's a 4 mana 4/4. If one or more +1/+1 counters be placed on a creature you control, you put twice as many. I think that this goes really well with Undying and Gavany Township and the new Golgari mechanic. I like this guy. I really do. A 4 mana 4/4 is very aggressively costed. The Golgari cards seem to be pretty aggressively costed, which I like. And being able to get a Strangleroot Geist and then have it come back as a 4/3 seems pretty good. Now, the next card is a card I think is going to be another Chase Rare, Dreadbore. Black-red, sorcery, destroy target creature or planeswalker. I love it. I really do. It's almost, it and Terminate, if it was instant, it would just be strictly better, and I really like Dreadbore. I really, really, really do. Next you have Drake Manler, which was already mentioned, so it's an aggressive 3/3 haste with Scavenge. We have Goblin Electromancer, which I've also covered. We have Grisly Salvage, so it's green-black, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You can put a creature or land among them into your hand and put the rest into your graveyard. So for those of you that are playing Reanimator, this is a very, very, very good card. Otherwise, meh. We have I believe Heroes Reunion's a reprint. Green-white, target player gains 7 life. We have Hypersonic Dragon. Wizards has been hitting the nail on the head for dragons between this one and Thundermaw Hellkite. It's 3 colorless blue-red for a 4/4 flying haste. You may cast sorcery cards as though they have flash. I think it's pretty good. I'm not sure how insane it'll be, but it seems to do work. Is it Charm I've already covered, but it is insane. I really like it. Gerard, Golgari Illustrator I've covered, and same with Corrosa Guildmage. We have Liev Skyknight. So it's a 3 mana 3/1 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, detain target non-land permanent an opponent controls. That's an aggressively costed 3/1 flyer. Pretty good. We have Nivix Guildmage, so it's blue-red. It's a 2/2, so you can colorless blue-red, draw a card, and discard a card. Or 2 colorless blue-red, copy an instant or sorcery spell you control. I don't like this guy too much. In limited, I think he's going to be fine. I'm not sure. I think the 4 mana is kind of expensive. What with, Snapcaster Mage out there, playing spells from Graveyard. But who knows? He has the potential to be really broken. We have Rakdos' Return, which is a pretty big mythic that was spoiled. So it's X black-red, deals X damage to target opponent. That player discards X cards. I think it's a decent sideboard card for Grixis, which I think Grixis is going to be a thing. At least I'm going to try and build Grixis. That's my upcoming deck. I think it's a possible sideboard card. I don't think it's as insane as people think. It's not like Blightning or anything, but it's okay. We have Celestia Charm, which is a charm I also really like. So it's green-white, target creature gets +2/+2 in trample, or exile target creature with power 5 or greater, or put a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance onto the battlefield. All of those seem really good, so I like the Celestia Charm. We have Sliceaway Scorpion, so it's a 2/2 death touch for 4, that you can scavenge it, which is, already pretty good. So this guy's not quite as aggressively costed, but it seems pretty good. We have Wayfaring Temple, so it's colorless green-white for a star whose power and toughness is equal to the number of creatures you control. And when it deals combat damage to a player, populate. I think that this guy goes really well with Rancor, and that he could certainly be a very good card. Green-white tokens is also a deck that looks quite promising. Green-white was already aggressively costed to begin with, and this guy helps. I'm totally losing my voice, so I apologize if this video is long. We have Judge's Familiar, so it's a blue-white hybrid mana, so hybrid mana is back. It's a 1/1 flyer that you can sacrifice it to counter target instant or sorcery spell its controller pays 1. So it's a flying Curse Catcher. I like Curse Catcher better because it's a merfolk and it has that intuition, but Judge's Familiar is certainly a good card. Next we have Rakdos Shred Freak, so it's hybrid black-red for 2/1 haste. Meh is my way. Not insane. Chromatic Lanterns. 3 mana, lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and you can tap the artifact to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. I think it's a fun card. It's great in EDH. Just instant fixing. And someone's got to build a casual door to nothingness deck with this card. Just saying. I already mentioned Blood Crypt. We have Golgari Guildgate. So here we have the Gate series. So it enters the battlefield tapped and adds black or green. I'm not sure how good this is. I think Woodland Cemetery is better because it certainly has the possibility of not coming in tapped. I mean, it's almost strictly better. But for a multicolored set, great fixing for limited. We have Grove of the Guardians, so it taps for colorless, and then 3 colors, green, white, and you tap 2 untapped creatures you control. You sacrifice this land, and you put an 8/8 green and white creature with Vigilance onto the battlefield. The fact that the token is really good since you can populate it, and Rancor is a thing. Again, I already mentioned the Shocklands, more Shocklands. We have Transguild Promenade, so it enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you pay 1, and then you can add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So it's a Rupture Spire. That's all it is. So it's a functional reprint of Rupture Spire. We have pretty basic lands. Now let's look at other cards that have been spoiled. I mentioned that guy, I mentioned Jace, I mentioned Lantern, I mentioned that. These were all spoiled from packs. I told you, give me Fencing Aces. That's all I want. Azorias Charm was fake. Yep, looks like they hit everything. Sweet. Okay, so let me know what you guys think about all of these Return to Ravnica spoilers. I personally already love the set. Return to Ravnica seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Standard is going to be shaken up, shook up, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be so much fun, and I am very, 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 very much looking forward to it. So I'm going to do one quick thing before I end the video, so pause. Okay, I was trying to see if I could cheat and see if you go here you can see the pre-release cards, so you can sort of hint at, or see what's what. But we're going to, it looks like those are just these. I haven't had the time to look at the pictures yet, but I would rather get this posted. So thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys are thinking. As I said, love this set. I think that Dreadbore is going to be a chase rare in addition to the Shocks. Same with Jace. I think this set's so much fun. Also has Fencing Ace. Like, that is going to be the card for me. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe.